yeah, I think everyone needs multiple streams of income. And so it's super important. I can't imagine not having that, because the security you get, the feeling you get of confidence, of like financial confidence when you have that. One could take a dive 1 month or have a rough month, and yet you're still good. You're still able to make good decisions in life, because it's really tough. I've been there many times where you have decisions in life, financially or business or family, and if you're stressed about financials, you're not really making the best decisions typically. It's a very stressful point of view to come from. So really important to get your financial side of your life in check, so that you can live a great life.
You have to begin by being rich and wealthy in your mind before you become rich and wealthy in life. The real purpose of financial wealth is for you to be able to finance your personal mission for your life. It's your freedom money.
We're here with Caesar, and Caesar, we just spent the last 25 minutes or so talking about opportunities within your business. And I'd love for you to kind of just share with our friends that experience.
Well, it is amazing that you guys reach out to just talk about my business and make me realize what I'm probably missing and what should just keep doing or keep growing and expect on my business in terms of growing in the future. I feel like for new agents, it is important to have these conversations so your mindset is in place and you get motivated every day to just keep going.
Awesome. Thank you, Caesar.
That was well said.
Mentorship and coaching is so important because if you think about it, our entire lives, we have had coaches, teachers, people who help us grow, and it should be absolutely no different with business.
You can almost overdo it at KW. So we have our initial coaching program that you join as a new agent, which is productivity coaching. We also have growth coaching, advanced coaching, and then Keller Williams offers MAPS coaching, international training. So, you could be in training and in class every day of the week if you really wanted to.
And whether their goal is 100 transactions a year or they're more focused on lifestyle and fueling whatever it is that they're trying to do with their life, we have coaching that is tailored to whatever they need to grow their business.
So how does an agent make their business more profitable? Well, I think the first thing you need to do is you need to have a plan.
Understanding the fact that we have certain revenue goals, well, we can't have those goals and reach those goals if we don't understand what our expenses are and creating that net income.
Have a plan, keep an eye on the numbers, and then just keep redirecting every time you think you're off course, or just keep checking in.
Because at the end of the day, I can show you many agents that do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions every year, but their expenses equate the amount of money that they bring in. We want to change that conversation. We want to change the conversation to it's what you take home at the end of the day. That's what matters to us.
I sit back and reflect on my time with Keller Williams Realty Centers. I can see how much I've already continued to grow, and the people around me and the people that I've met here and the journey and trajectory that they're on, that I'm building a life that I'd never imagined for myself.
Over the last 10 years of being in real estate, I can honestly say that these last 2 years have put me in a place where I can create my life for myself and my family that I didn't even know was possible.
June 1st looks like a big day, Jen Silvernagel.
Yeah, it's coming quickly, Gary. It's coming quickly,
Beautiful.
but yeah, it is a big day. Dylan and I have been working the last few months on a boot camp, a 12-week online program, taking what we do in PC coaching, making it virtual, making it accessible to everybody, and then, adding in the resources, the scripts, the tools, all of that. It's a pretty big undertaking, and honestly, we're really excited about it. It's going to roll out to our agents June 1st, and it's hopefully going to change the way a lot of people do business. That's the goal anyway.
I like it, Stevie. What a great tool we're going to have at our hands to help our agents and the industry as well. So welcome to our May team meeting. We are excited for what we have in store for today. Colin will be joining us momentarily. When you are the owner of a brokerage and you are also the broker of record, there's certain things that come up, and he is in a meeting for Rico this morning, taking care of some of the back end of our business. But a big hello to everybody, and I see some comments coming in there on the side there, ladies. Love to see where you're watching from, and say hi in the chat. Always good to see everybody. Stevie, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Gary. I'm excited for today's meeting.
Yeah, very, very good, very good. So here's what we're going to be covering today. Let me share my screen here in just a second. Here we go, just something like this. And here's what we got going on for today. We are going to be looking at, of course, our mission moment and highlighting one of our agents that I'm so happy that we're taking this time to do. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Of course, the roundtable is back with some awesome agents. And what are we saying to clients? What are we saying to our clients to help set the expectation of where the market is? And of course, it's shifting. We're going to get into that. And it's important to, I think, listen to what other agents are saying, and so we can all be on the same page and delivering the same message and so forth. So that's going to be, I'm excited for that. Red Day, of course, Steve is going to give us a recap of our Red Day. We had a lot of fun for everyone that participated, and we're excited for that. And I know the charity that we donated to, they reached out to Melissa Taylor, and they were, I'll use a line that my dad says they were over the moon with what we did for them. And we're excited for that as well. Broker Bits with Andrew Bolton. And I've got some things and some pieces there that we're going to talk about as well. Of course, our top producers and market intel, just kind of recapping where we're sitting currently within the market, and lots in between as always. Jen, this is something that Jen and I would share when we would host YKW evenings. Jen, why don't you start us off with kind of our mission and our vision? We'll get into that a little bit. We'll just spend a few moments here of, why we do what we do, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. So the KWRC mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And we always talk about, what does that mean, right? If we stop and break it down for a second, and we look at those words, right? Worth having, worth owning, worth living, worth giving, worth leaving. It tells a story. And that's our goal, right? Within the brokerage, is to help you build that story for yourself and have our mission be a part of the mission of your business.
Yeah, I like it. And to follow up with that, our vision is to be the real estate company of choice, not only for you, our agent partners, but more importantly, your customers and clients and friends, really. I know chatting in one of our training sessions last week, my clients become good friends, and I'm sure that's the same with many of you. Jen, take this next one. This is easy.
Yeah, the values are God, family, then business. And the emphasis there is that business is third on purpose, right? That's kind of the point.
Yeah. Very good. I'm going to throw a curveball. Stevie, do you want to take this big one here, our belief system? And just walk us through. You don't have to give us the highlight of each one, but just kind of talk them out loud so we're reminded of what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So our beliefs: win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. And success, results through people.
I like it, Stevie. That's good. That's good. And we share these things because A, we haven't done it in a while, but B, this is, what years and years and years ago when Gary Keller and kind of the founding partners, if you will, this is what they launched Keller Williams on and around. And of course, over time, it's been tweaked and so forth. And of course, over the last few years, we've added the equity piece here. And I can certainly see that come to fruition, just with what we're doing as a society and so forth. But, we exist because we believe in these. This is what roots us, and I'm excited for our brokerage moving forward and so forth. So our mission moment. And as you know, we always like to kick off our team meetings with a mission moment, highlighting maybe a story or an individual. And this individual that we're going to highlight today, and I think we're all going to take just a short moment and talk about this individual. This individual has been with us, I believe, for about 11 years now. So one of our OGs, as the kids are saying these days. He's been around an awful long time. And one of the cool things with this individual is he always continues to give back to our brokerage. And as I kind of sit back, and I was thinking about this the other day, ladies, is he's had a direct impact on, I'd say, 3/4 of our brokerage. And that's because when you join our brokerage, especially as a new agent, but we've seen a lot of experienced agents go through our Ignite program. And of course, if you're starting to put things together, I want to highlight Mr. Wayne Clements today, because when you get to have that impact on steering people's businesses, but more importantly, as we just kind of shared, their lives, it is truly tremendous of what he's been able to do. I don't know if you know this, but in the background, he has always been our leader in Ignite and making sure that we not only have the right training and the right trainers, but the right message, and more importantly, that our students that are in Ignite are being held accountable to reach some pretty big goals. And I'm sure that because of Wayne, we have done probably hundreds, if not thousands of transactions because of his leadership in Ignite, which equates to probably hundreds of millions of dollars of volume, which equates to, right, commission. So, Wayne, you've had a direct impact not only on building people's lives and starting and launching their careers, but for their families. And think about that, Wayne, of what you've been able to help accomplish with the amount of income that they're bringing in, that they can affect many, many others. So kudos to you, my friend. We've been friends a long time and good friends, and I'm just so thankful to be in business with you. Jen, take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what Susan just said. My Ignite instructor 8 years ago. That's how long he has been, supporting us and supporting the agents. And I feel lucky to know Wayne on many levels, on a personal level, as a business colleague, and then as a partner, even within the coaching program. The amount of agents that we've coached that have said to me, yeah, I called Wayne last night, or I did Wayne's open house, or Wayne came to those offers with me, or Wayne called me back. Like I hear it all the time. And I'm so grateful that we have somebody like that for the agents to look up to. But beyond that, I look up to Wayne as an agent, as a father. Like he's just, he exudes all of the things you kind of want to be. And, on top of that, he's humble, he's funny, he's kind. And it's just, I just feel grateful that we get to work with him and that he is willing to do so much for us and, put up with us as long as he has, really.
I'm just reading through the chat here and lots of amazing comments. I love it. And Michael put one on the private side of the chat for just the presenters here. Not only is he a great guy, but he's also might be a neighbor of Michael's. So he's pretty lucky there. Stevie, what can you add to that?
Wayne. I love Wayne. Honestly, so Wayne was my Ignite instructor 5 years ago. And I just think that's so crazy too. Like I'm sitting here today, as team leader in the brokerage. And it's just like, one of my first interactions with Keller Williams, my first experiences learning everything was from Wayne. And I just have nothing but incredible things to say about him. He brings such good energy to everything that he does. He's such a great first kind of, again, impression on a lot of our agents of just tackling this industry with a positive attitude. And we're so lucky to have him.
One of the best ways to summarize all this, and many years ago, Wayne was nominated at Keller Williams International to be the KW Cultural Ambassador. And something that we just learned this week is once a KW Ambassador, you are always a KW Ambassador. So thank you. Yeah, I see your comment here. You all make my heart glad. You do that for us. So thank you, my friend. And we wish you continued success, obviously. And we're not letting you off the hook, though. There's many more people that you can affect, my brother.
Yeah, don't leave us, please, Wayne.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. It also makes, the three of us, for instance, it makes our roles, our jobs so much easier when we have people like Wayne in our brokerage. And there's many more like you that step up to the plate when needed and take on a training workshop, whether it's Ignite or even as one of our trainers or whomever. So our mission moment today is to honor Wayne, but the ripple effect of what that's been able to do throughout our brokerage. Thank you, my friend. All right. Moving on. Let's highlight a couple of awesome things as we like to do. Huge kudos goes out to the Terry Hastings group, as we can see here. Number 8 and number 6 on the entire across Canada for Keller Williams International, which is fantastic. Kudos to you. We're happy to see your continued success, and we wish you all the best. All right, very good. Okay, our roundtable. We're going to say goodbye to Stevie for a moment, but we're going to bring on some guests. So we'll get back to Stevie and our guests here. I'm excited for this. So we're going to bring on Michael Tuff. We're going to bring on Darren Maltese. We're going to bring on Kate Carconi. And of course, we can't forget our favorite Melissa Taylor. There she is. And here's what I thought, Jen, that, it's good to keep having these conversations about what are we saying to our clients? How are we guiding the conversations, definitely in a shifting market when it's going the opposite direction, if you will, from what we've been used to over the last couple of years. So we're going to spend the next 15, 20 minutes really talking about what that looks like. And of course, we've invited our esteemed guests on the line here because they are in the market. They have great clients. Not only do they have clients that they're working with today, but clients that have been working with them for years. And that's important because they go back to the source of reliability, for instance. And I'm going to start off with you, Melissa. To start us off, tell us a little bit about kind of your main focus or your geographic area where you're trading. And are you seeing, and I want more than a yes or no, are you seeing a market shift in that area, Melissa?
Well, the interesting thing is with the size of the team and the location, we are spread out over so many. And every week, each member, manufactures their stats, brings them to the table, it shares with the team and lets them know sort of what's going on in their areas. So very, very different areas, not just, it used to be like York region. Well, it never really was that, but it used to be towns like Georgina, you could know north or south. 100% you cannot go by that anymore. Then it was neighborhoods within that. And now it's literally streets and even sometimes properties, individual properties. So it's more important than ever. And anyone who knows me either on my current team or in my past life knows that I was allergic to stats, like allergic. I thought they were the most useless thing ever. I mean, who needs it? They just need to talk to me and then they're going to want to go with me. What are you talking about? So that's how I used to roll. And now stats are, they support and this is what we talk about, is those stats support whatever position that you're going to want to go with that client. And we have seen, so I'll use Georgina. That's my requirement every week to do Georgina's stats. And you can clearly see month over month, we even do bi-weekly, but we really focus on the changes. And something I learned the hard way. Am I answering your question, Gary? Am I okay to keep going? Okay. Something I learned the hard way. Jen knows how this goes.
What was my question again? I forget. No, I'm kidding.
Is I used to use average stats, right? And what an error that is, because all of the outliers, and I forget which book, we read so many, but what are you doing? Striving to be average? So but the outliers really skew those results. So using median, if anyone's using these, has been really valuable. Use price median and days on market median, and you can clearly see the difference, the percentage though of change. Whether it's up or whether it's down, it doesn't matter, but presenting them with that percentage of change to me has been like, oh, I clearly see that. I clearly see that. So having those stats has been really important, because there are changes. And Gary, to answer your question, it is not the same in every area or on every street, and we've got lots of examples of that.
Yeah, good. Well said. Kate, I got to ask you the similar question, but you work in a different market price range. Talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing in maybe the higher end of the market there. I'm really curious of what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you asked that question. I was on a call, a couple of colleagues, and strangely, a point that it really matters. You're sort of talking about geographically, and of course what that property has to offer. But we've actually looked really close at it, and it would seem as though again, this is a very sweeping general statement. Those properties 1.5 and above have not been adversely affected yet in terms of price changing, and anything above the $4 million mark is selling, and it's actually selling at about 30% above last year's values. So the market is really skewed. I think we have not been helped by a number of bad news articles, not to sound political, but I know the government has taken some wind out of the sails and said that they were going to do so. And I think they've done a good job of it. We've had a series of anyone picking up a paper or watching the news, bad news articles, and that really has affected, from what we looked at, anything 1.5 and below adversely. Obviously low sales, even here, and I've looked at some of the Corner Ridge properties that have sold well below expectation. That seems to be the most adversely affected market for now. Whether that changes in the higher price points, it's to be determined, but we're still at a very a low point in, which is always sort of the case at those price points, but really slippery, which is keeping the prices buoyant, at least for now. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's interesting. And to summarize that, it cut out a little bit there, Kate, but I experienced the exact same thing. Just a couple of weeks ago, one of my listings at over $2.5 million, I expected, to be on the market a little bit longer, but lo and behold, within the first few days, we had multiple offers, and I was actually blown away by what the market reaction was from that, which is interesting. Jen, I got to throw it over to you to ask Michael and Darren a couple of questions.
Yeah, what I would love to know is, I'm going to throw it to Michael first. I know, Michael, that you work with a lot of families, some first-time buyers, repeat referral, like multi-tier database clients. And when you're having the conversations with them about the market and the changes in the numbers, like, how are you approaching those conversations? What are you saying? How are you delivering that message to them? And, how is it being received?
Oh, wow. You just jumped to like question 3 on the list. I'm totally lost. To Melissa's statement earlier, I love stats. But more than just the stats itself is what's the bigger economic picture around those stats, and how is it affecting human behavior? Because I think ultimately when you're working, and I love the move up families, the niche, that particular niche. And what are the conversations like with them? I mean, obviously they're very different now than they were in February.
Right.
In Keller Williams, we talk about the 4 conversations. And I always have a conversation with our clients, and it's very similar. It's 4 conversations. What's the problem where you're living right now? And how is it showing up? How is it manifesting in your life? What's the pain associated with that problem? What is our solution to the problem? And then what's the joy, the feeling that you will have when you've achieved that? The moment in a shifting market like this one, the moment the conversation goes to money, I've lost them. As long as we can keep the conversation focused on what are you feeling in terms of your life right now, and how can we get you to where you want to go? If we can keep the conversation there, then we can have great success with our clients. Hope that answers the question a little.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, what I'm hearing is that you're taking more of a consultative coaching approach around their goals versus the numbers specifically, and keeping them on track for that perspective, right? To help move them through the process.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, you look at, hypothetically, you look at Aurora earlier this year, a townhouse was 1.3 million.
Yeah.
And their move up home was 1.7. And now all of a sudden their townhouse is worth $1 million. And it's like, what's the solution in that home? And what's the gap? Are we still maintaining that gap? Is the gap still 600,000, 700,000? Let's just stay focused on what can we do to help your family achieve their long-term goal.
Yeah, I love that. I love the gap. It's an effective tool, right? When we're trying to walk people through that shift in the market, look at the gap, not at what they're gonna walk away with, because it's often parallel, even though the numbers have changed, right? So that's a great one. I love it. And that, Darren, just gonna flip over to you for a second. What tools do you use and leverage with your clients when you're reviewing this information and bringing them the content? Like, where are you getting it from, and how are you presenting it to them?
Well, I think it depends. Each client, like Melissa said earlier, each area, each street could be different, but really it's very different for every client too, right? Michael mentioned move up buyers versus you have somebody who's cashing out of the market to retire or get out of province. It's like, I don't think there's much to share, right? Like, get on the market today, get a short closing. Let's get out of here, because we don't know where this market's going to go. We don't know if there's going to be some type of support level. Right now, I'm seeing, like, especially in Durham region, it's just dropping like a stone in a lot of areas. And there's lots of areas to get stats. You can get broker-based stats for showings and all those things, because what it was before is it wasn't that long ago in February where you're having 15-minute appointments, right? 15 minutes showing appointments. Now it's fine, leave them an hour long if you need to. But so yeah, there's Broker Bay, there's Top CMA has some great stats in it as well. Plenty of areas. You can just get it by doing searches for a particular area. You can have it for any type of home. I think it really depends on the client and exactly where you want to get that data, how you want to share it. Move up buyers, I think it's a great opportunity right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and if everyone's cashing out, now's the time, I think. I don't think we're going to see the numbers that we saw back in February and March for a long time. So I think you try to catch it while you can right now.
Yeah, makes sense. And top CMAs, that's something we don't hear too often, or we hear get referenced any often. Can you give us a quick 30-second, explanation of what that is for those of us that don't know?
Well, I believe they have like a pro. We use a pro version. It has you can build stats in any way you want in there. It's on Trab. You can get in there, and on Trab you can get in there and do your top CMA. You can purchase a subscription, and I think it's, first of all, for CMAs, I don't think there's anything better. You can brand it, all that stuff. It has all kinds of stats. You can send it as a link, which makes it interactive, so they can actually look at each home, open up the photos, all the comparables. It's really remarkable. But there's even, You can even do like week over week, month over month stats for certain areas, types of properties. It's all interactive. It's excellent. So that's a great way to deliver those types of things too.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Darren.
Jen, I'm going to jump in there too, and we're going to do a lot more training on this, but a little 10-second segue into what realm the new Treb platform is going to look like, our new Stratus platform. And as you're searching properties, it's also retrieving stats for you at the same time. Just a little Easter egg for that's what's coming forward, which is cool. Melissa, here's what I want to know. And I know
Gary's picking his nose.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know. Here's when we deliver information to our clients and we tell them that, as Michael said earlier, hey, your townhouse in January, February is 1.3 and now it's worth $1 million. What's that conversation look like? How are people reacting to perhaps that shifting market where all of a sudden, we know how home sellers think. Are you telling me I have $300,000 less in equity, or I'm now $300,000 less richer? Like, we know where the mindset goes. Talk to us how you're delivering that information so it becomes a tool for them.
First of all, it's usually from a great distance. No, I digress. But it is, but it's focusing. And I think Michael was talking and referencing about managing those conversations and the path of those conversations and where they go. And that, honestly, from the inception of the idea of speaking to your clients all the way through, is key to you having a successful transaction for your client, despite where their mindset goes. When you're speaking about this, a lot comes up, and we talk around the table a lot about the word worth. And your clients, or my clients, and I'm sure your clients, throw that word around a lot as well, especially when they're going to make an offer. That's not worth that. I'm not paying that. And my home is worth so much more. And one tactic I use is I sort of slow down at that point and I say, I can completely understand why you're saying that. I said, let's just share with me, what does worth mean to you? Tell me how we determine that worth. And if you throw this back at them, my experience has been they inevitably will say, they'll get to the point where the house has sold for that, right? Or eventually you'll veer to there. And that I really drive home. And once we talk about that word worth, and then we usually don't use it again, because worth is what the buyer is willing to pay. I mean, that's what the property is worth. It's not the assessment. It's not anything else. It's what they're willing to pay. So then really helping them self-discover what they're talking about when they're talking about value and worth. They're not interchangeable. Some of it is very subjective to their own. So then you have to kind of veer to where their needs are. What are their needs? And what would it look like if we were able to, fulfill those needs and get you into your new home? And it is completely doable. It's just not being done at the price point on either home that you have in your mind. And really breaking it down. I always say when you feel like you need to speed up, that's when you need to slow down. Like back up, circle around, and really spend some time. And I find, and for me, I'm even doing it here, I think. I slow down my speech, like really all of that. And I think Michael will attest, all of that is so important, right? Like how you're addressing them, how you're speaking to them, just in tone and tenor and everything. But that's a tip that I can use. I hope I answered your question, but that's what I use.
Absolutely. And Michael, I saw your note there. Is this what you had some extra thoughts on this one in particular about, how we interact or deliver that message to our clients and so forth?
I did. To my earlier comment, it's always about circling them back to the pain versus the pleasure, for sure, and constantly reminding them of the goal. But I always like to, right off the bat with a client, establish a baseline, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being sugar-coated, 10 being brutal honest. Where do you want me to be in our discussions about the market and your house right now? And then every time brutal honesty needs to show up, I will always ask, do I have your permission to be honest with you right now? And I just find that it allows us to revisit what I remember you said to me. I could be brutally honest. What's changed? Anyway, just a thought on that.
That if you were to write anything down in your notebook, that might be the best question to write down. I know Jen and I both kind of smiled when you said that, Michael, because that is a powerful, powerful question. Kate, talk to us a little bit about that same situation. In fact, and I know you've studied this in a sense, how to react and read people's faces and so forth, and interacting with them. What is there a right or wrong way to deliver that type of information when the market has certainly changed and the valuation of their homes?
No, I mean, I think, we obviously know clients. So, to Michael's point, we can kind of get a just sense of, how to deliver that. We all deal with different clients. I deal with a lot of clients that are high Ds like myself. So they give me the raw data, raw truth, no problem there at all. But I also deal with high Is who kind of like the sugarcoating. So you really have to know who it is that you're dealing with. And that obviously comes with just working with them over time or over years. And you're laughing, Jen, because But I think, to echo Michael's point, it really, right now we are having very tough talks with our clients, whether they're current clients, we've got their house on the market, or we've got them out looking at property, or whether we're, real estate works much like fashion, where we're always dealing sort of a season ahead, if you will. I've got people that are considering selling, in the next sort of season coming up, if you will. So it's about planting those seeds and having some tough talks now. I think too many agents want to attain a listing. It's never fun, but it certainly makes, our job overall easier to have those tough talks, as Michael has said, and just, delivering the data and the Toronto real estate market is a great aggregator of data, but, the best source really is us, because we have to interpret that. Because again, a lot of the information that comes out from TREB or from the Toronto Star talks about things in an overall sort of sweeping, number. So it's up to us to really give the raw sort of, here's where we're at, in terms of your neighborhood, in terms of your home. So just honest talking, not fun, but it's got to be done.
Gary, I
have a natural bent towards tough conversations. My last name is tough. My wife's last name is tough. My children's last name are tough. I have tough conversations every day.
Gary, I just wanted to add on to what Kate was saying there, because exactly, you were talking, Kate, about the news and the sweeping, stories they're consistently doing. And one of the issues, you do get that odd person who really is paying attention and knows that a lot of that is baloney, right? They'll say, oh yeah, but the issue, and that's where it becomes an educating point of, you may be 100% correct. And we literally are not dealing with what actually is happening, but we do have to understand that the perception is all that it takes. Those news stories do create real results, and bringing them into that that is a powerful thing that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw your hand up there, Darren. And I think and it was mentioned here, and I apologize, I can't remember who mentioned it, but that self-discovery piece is so valuable when in times like this, because they'll perceive they know the information because they read an article, they read this, or their neighbor told them, but having that self-discovery with the stats and the story in front of them. Darren, take it over.
Yeah, those conversations aren't easy, especially when the expectations are so high from the last few months. But I found over my years in my career, anytime that I just get out of that real honest approach. Like if you want to sugarcoat it a little bit too much, it doesn't usually end well, right? It's just not a great situation if you're being if you want to use the quotes, a salesperson, right? If you want to be a consultant and you speak to them from the heart, tell them exactly what you feel. I think that's always the best approach, right? And when you do sugarcoat it a bit too much, then the expectations are different. And then it becomes, like you say, like for the sake of getting a listing, it usually ends up being too much energy, like negative energy and all that stuff. So be straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. We're kind of up against the clock here, Jen. Kind of close us off, perhaps with one more question, and then we'll move on here. This is one of those conversations we can keep going on because I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say even the questions will just lead to more questions. But I'd be interested to know one comment from each of you. What are the kind of questions that you're getting or hearing consistently from your clients right now? What's the main thing, if you could pick one, that you're hearing? We'll start with Darren. We'll start with you.
I don't know if there's any one particular question. I guess, everybody wants to know exactly, where the market is today, what the expectations might be. I don't know if there's any one. Like we deal with so many different types of clients, right? If you're dealing with investors, and a lot of people are talking about interest rates as well. So that's really hard to kind of project as well. Who knows where that's going to go, right? We're in unprecedented times. So it's probably interest rates and then dealing with investors. Again, if they have a pre-approval locked in, they want to get ahead of that because of cash flow. But I think those are probably the two things.
Okay, nice. And Kate, what about you? Anything different? Are you getting a lot of the same? You're in a different market, so I'm assuming your questions would be like price-wise, and that you might be getting different questions or having different conversations?
I'm getting questions about, I think a lot of the people I've dealt with, not that I know their personal financial situation, but the stock markets have taken a real so a lot of them are concerned about what the market's going to look like going forward. That's probably the number one question I get. And again, I just kind of deduct, I know there's a lot of people who have money in the capital markets that have really taken a hit in the last few weeks in particular. But that, it's hard for me to forecast that. I generally say, much like the stock market, I don't know. It shifts, it changes. Here's where we're at right now. But none of us here on this panel, and no agent could possibly forecast where it's all going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. Our clients seem to want us to be able to predict that most of the time. Michael, what about you? What questions are you hearing most consistently?
Certainly the conversation about just the overall economy, inflation, interest rates. There's just so many things that are affecting us to be able to make a good, solid decision and help our clients make a good, solid decision. One of the best analogies I've heard recently, and I've used it several times in the last month with our clients, is just remember that the real estate market is like playing with a yo-yo while going up an escalator. It's going to do this, and it's just going to do this throughout, but you're still always doing this over time, and just stay focused on where that long-term destination is that you want to get to, and don't worry about the episode in between. And then for the agents in our office, very briefly, I read this book 3 times in 2017. I'm almost finished it for the first time again this year. Read it, get into it, understand it, because that's how your business needs to respond, and how you need to respond to your clients.
Yeah, I love it. Mm-hmm. And Melissa, I know you're ready to go. So
I'm like, thank God no one took mine. But Michael, my team, if you're watching, do a shout out, because Michael, you just gave me a new analogy. They are so tired of my boat analogy. This morning they told me I need a new one. I'm stealing that. I love it. The biggest question and what we're doing the most practice in real play, and I hope everybody, if you don't have a role play or real play partner, get one. More now than ever, you need one every single day. Meet with somebody, practice. We all do, like practice. So anyway, it used to be the chicken and the egg, and it's very similar. Do I buy or sell first? Well, that one's become a lot easier to answer. But now the biggest concern that we're seeing is, okay, I get it. I'm going to put my house up. I'm terrified that I'm going to sell my house and I'm not going to find something that I can get into. So that is like the number one question that we're fielding. And, learning and, teaching the team those conditions that we haven't seen in, a few years that do present limitations to buyers, and educating the sellers on that, but also showing them that that's a way, and just addressing that whole issue, right? And that's definitely been our number one across the board.
Yeah. Interesting. It's such a list of similar and yet different questions with different connotations depending on who you're speaking to or what market you're in. So it's good to be able to address all of those. And, these guys have given amazing ways to answer and some great analogies and scripts and tools. And I know Wayne just commented we should be masterminding on shift. And I 100% agree with that. We're running through it every morning with Mike Russo and PC coaching right now. Michael sounds like he's read it a couple of times, so maybe we should get him to help us out with that mastermind.
Well, here's what I love about, all the answers this morning here, Jen and team, is all different. To Jen's last question, they were all different. Yeah, of course, as she mentioned, similar. What we can't serve our clients or consult our clients without talking to them, and more importantly, listening, asking a question, sitting back and listening and getting to know them. And that's where the real trust comes in. They already know and like you. Now it's how do we get them to trust you? And by trusting you, you get to ask a question, sit back, learn, listen, and get to know them on a deeper level. My friends, thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Thank you for being leaders in our brokerage and leaders in the industry. We wish you all the best, and we'll see everybody. We'll see you guys real soon. Thank you.
Okay. Adios. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Yes.
Very, very good. Very good. So look who's on the call with us now. Imagine that.
Look who showed up.
That was an amazing panel. Like, I caught the tail end of the panel, and thank you to Mike, Kate, Darren, and Melissa. That was some powerful information, and I really like what Wayne said. Definitely we should have a mastermind around shift. So Stevie and I were texting about what that will look like early next month. So that will be coming to our calendar. Stevie will be mentioning more about that. Unfortunately, I'm sure Gary mentioned it, or Jen or Stevie, but I was on a TREB mandatory training session. That was just beautiful. That I was literally chained there. So I'm glad to be here with the team.
Well, here's what's great. It only gets better from here on out. If you and this shouldn't be an if, you should be wanting to walk shoulder to shoulder and with high-minded individuals, top agents. There's an amazing event that happens every August, every year, hosted by Keller Williams International. And here's just a quick video of what that looks like. Coming up. Here we go.
You guys ready? Let's go.
Beautiful. So I think all of us at one time have been to Mega Camp on the call here. It is an outstanding event. And they're rebranding it, as you can see here, Mega Agent Camp, which is focused on the agent and growing their business, your business. And you can see here how to sign up for it. You can fly down to Austin, which I know some of our agents are doing this year, Michael being one of them, I believe, and others, or you can do the online event as well. But this is a great way to mix and mingle and network with top producers right across the North America here. Very good. Very good. Moving on. I love this, Colin and Jen, and I'm going to bring on Stevie too, if that's okay, just to give you the heads up. There you go, Stevie. I love when our agents can be highlighted, not only in our brokers, but right across Canada. Top GCI for the month of April in 2022. You can see Kirby at 7, Michael Dinner at 14, and Paul Ireland at 18. Congratulations to the three of you and many others that are starting to creep up that list as the year unfolds here. Very good. This is cool. I did a quick little glimpse of this slide this morning to a few people, and this is absolutely amazing. We are taking tremendous amount of market share in different areas, and this is one of the areas where we are taking market share. MJ Huxley at number 1 in Aurora. This is for closed units year to date. Marian Carconi, Vincent Bongard, yeah, Stephanie Sauve.
Yes.
Where are we going here? Kirby Chan, of course. The Silbernagels. There you have it. And Tammy Andrekos, amazing work here. We're seeing some new names pop up here. And as we were previewing the slides for Jen and Stevie this morning, that was the first comment they said, oh my gosh, we're seeing some new names, especially when we get down to our top producer list. You'll see some new names in there, which is always, always exciting. And it's just a testament to, the way we started off the call with programs like Ignite and agents like Wayne leading that, it's a testament of how that ripples down through our brokerage. We're going to say goodbye to Jen for a little bit here. So Jen, thanks for helping me host the panel this morning. And we're going to hand it over to Stevie as she gets to talk about Red Day. So talk to us about what a fun Red Day we had here, Stevie.
Oh my God, Red Day was so much fun this year. Obviously we were blessed with incredible weather, which we never really get. I mean, the last 2 years, it hasn't really mattered because it's been online, but our first year back and we just got an incredible day. So that made it all the better. Cause I know we've been out there before doing a car wash in the freezing rain, miserable. And it the weather makes all the difference. So incredible day. Obviously, you guys can see on the screen the grand total that we raised so far was $3,235.50. However, we are actually leaving the online donation link open until May 31st. So if you were one of our realtors that did not make it out to Red Day and contribute in your sweat equity with us, we would love to see some more donations roll in there for this amazing foundation. Like I said, we're keeping it open till the end of the month. What we also are going to email out to you guys is I have Mary Furnell working on a graphic that you guys will be able to blast out to your social media, basically just stating that the donations are going to be open until the end of May. So if anyone does want to contribute to this great cause, that they can still do so. So we'll send you guys all that. And if we can get one more, social blast out from all of our realtors collectively, I think we can definitely roll in some more donations there. I don't think 35 or 33 or whatever we did is the max that we're going to do. I think that we can definitely get some more in there. But honestly, just to kind of recap the day, this was Colin's first Red Day as an OP. So we had to kind of ease him into it a little bit. And if you guys can see there, we started Colin on bike duty. Yeah. He was washing bikes instead of cars because we didn't quite trust him yet with the vehicle. So. But it was such a great day all around. As you guys can see, we had Jack and Wayne in the dinosaur outfits there, and they didn't have to do that. They just did that. They showed up. That was their idea. It was so fun. We all loved it. I also can't, continue on without saying a huge thank you to not only every realtor that did come out and work their butt off in the heat for this, but to our ALC. Our ALC was such a huge part of this year's Red Day. They contributed not only so many ideas and just support it with me planning this, but literally their own money, their own supplies, their own everything to make this Red Day happen. And I can't thank you guys enough. It was incredible, and Red Day wouldn't have happened without our ALC this year. So it was fantastic.
Beautiful. I love it, Stevie. And yes, it was a fun day. And I think Wayne and Jack each lost 10 pounds sitting in those suits. It was so hot.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. And I'll put the slide back up here. Yeah. Please donate to KWRCredday.ca. Any donations online is through Canada Helps, and you'll receive a tax receipt for that for next year's taxes, which is always helpful. And I know, as Melissa mentioned in one of the WhatsApp groups, that Shine Through the Rain, they reached back out to Melissa, and they were ecstatic about the money that was raised, as I mentioned. So let's change that $3,200. I know in the past we've raised $4,000 and $5,000. If we have well over 200 agents, and just think about if every one of those 200 plus agents donated another $10, what that could look like to this number and to the lives that would be changed through Shine Through the Rain. So even a $10 donation goes such a long way. And remember, there's power in numbers. So 200 people behind $10 each, that, my friends, will change lives. So that is my challenge to you as a brokerage. And thank you for your participation in Red Day.
Gary, can I add to that? Just on that note too, of your point of just, each of us donating, $10. That's one of the things too, it's obviously so great to get our community and our clients and stuff involved in the car wash and raising money that way. But, at the end of the day, Red Day is all about us as realtors taking the day off business and focusing on giving back to our community. And, I know not every realtors, we all get looked at, we make so much money and yada, yada, yada. I know that's not always the case in everyone's business, but at the end of the day, the more that we get, the more that we should give. And I believe that will come back in your business as well. So I know that we can afford to, donate $10, all of us as realtors. So please, guys, that is what Red Day is all about. And it would be just so awesome to see that from every single one of us.
Beautiful. All right, Stevie, I'm going to hand this part of the meeting over to you to talk about, what we need to do in a shifting market and so forth. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah. So you guys, obviously we just saw on the panel and we talked about doing a mastermind around shift, which we are absolutely going to get on the calendar for next month. It's actually been in discussion for a while now. And on that note, if you guys haven't realized, we are in a shifting market for sure. We're noticing it in many, many areas. And like Melissa was saying on the panel, it's different everywhere, but we're in a shifting market. And, there are some of our realtors that have never experienced a shifting market before. And so if you are one of those people, or even if you have experienced a shifting market before, now is the time to pick up the book Shift and start reading that again if you're not. And we will be masterminding around it. So no better time than to pick it up and start reading it. At our last meeting, we did give away the digital copy. So if you don't have a physical copy in your email, you should have it. So no excuse not to read it. But what I really want to talk about and what kind of shift is all about is right now is really the time to be doubling down on our activities and our lead gen. And, two of the things that you really, really should be focusing on is your habits and your numbers. More than ever right now, more than ever, that is extremely important to be doubling down on those and to be really focusing on what your daily habits are and your numbers. The other thing about, lead gen in general, we say double down on your lead gen, but how many of you guys have 3 pillars of lead generation? If you honestly look at your lead generation, you might be a heavy door knocker, you might be a heavy cold caller, you might be, or whatever it is. But we should have 3 pillars of lead generation, because what that does is you have a main one, but the other 2 support it and complement it, right? So 3 pillars of lead gen is really important. So now is really a time to take a look at that and recognize, where is your business coming from? What are you doing to get business? Are you doing enough? What are your daily habits? What do your numbers look like? And right now is the time to be upping that and upping the effort on all fronts. Like I said, making sure you have those 3 pillars of lead generation. So just a few ideas that I can throw out there. I did a video recently on some ways that new realtors can get business, but it doesn't just apply to new realtors. Some simple things that you guys can do if you're maybe not super busy right now, or you're looking for other ways to add lead generation in. Even if you are a seasoned agent, you guys can still advertise listings for other realtors, right? Do paid ads, ask permission to advertise a listing of one of our agents in the office. You can get leads from that. Even if somebody reaches out to you to inquire about that listing, and maybe it doesn't end up being for them, maybe it's out of their price point or they don't want to see it, they've reached out to you and expressed some sort of interest in real estate. So either themselves or someone they know is thinking about real estate. That is a perfect open opportunity to dive deeper into that, even if that house that you're advertising isn't the one for them. Another thing you can always do is do realtors open houses. Even if you are a seasoned agent, there's no better way than to get in front of people. And open houses have been great lately. Honestly, there's some strong leads coming through. So if you have a weekend where you're not doing anything and someone is asking for an open house to be covered, do it. You have no idea what could come from that. That could change your business. And 3, something I learned from Wayne, but it's absolutely brilliant, is go spend an afternoon in a coffee shop. Spend 25 to 50 bucks and just pay for people's coffee. The amount of people that will come up to you, and you'll easily get your 10 contacts in a day by just being generous. So there's so many things that you guys can do if you're not already doing it or looking for new ideas. And right now, more than ever, it's extremely important to start doubling down on all that kind of stuff, guys. So really be honest with yourself and vulnerable, and look at your business and what are you not doing that you should be doing, or you should be doing at a higher level. And Gary, I'll leave it at that.
That's well said, Stevie. I love it. It is. We got to double down, but we got to double down on the right habits. That's going to increase our business for sure. For sure. Let's speaking of habits and highlighting stuff, let's talk about what's happening out in the Grey Bruce area. Love this. Terry Hastings is the #1 team year to date on the entire real estate board out there. And to follow that up, Tracy Kirstein team, #9. Amazing is being taken by these 2 teams out in that area. Amazing stuff. Awesome.
And that's the beauty about what we're seeing now, especially even with just using Terry and Tracy right now, Gare, is it's market share they're gaining right now. And once the market comes back, they've increased their market share tremendously. So they're doubling down. And that is what, as a brokerage, we're encouraging everyone to do right now. Go harder, whether it's 2 times, 3 times, because the market share that will be gained during this time is going to be tremendous when we come out of the shift.
Yeah. And when market share is taken, it helps everybody. I love, why do we want to become a large brokers? Well, we don't. We want to become a very active brokers, because active brokerages take market share, but that attracts like-minded people. Like all these people on the screen here, welcome to KWRC. Lots of people: Sarah, Nicole, Zach, Maria, Laura, Melissa, Diana, Christian, Kyler, Jasmine, and there's many more people that are about to join us as well. Congratulations to everybody. We love working with new agents, and we love working with veteran and seasoned agents as well. And I want to do a shout out here. She doesn't know this is happening, but Stevie, this is absolutely amazing. What you're seeing on the screen here is KWRC is top 5 in all of Canada for gross agent count, and we can't do that with a few things. Great agents like you guys, and of course with somebody leading that. So Stevie, this is kudos to you. This is me applauding you, and I want to thank you for all the hard work, because it is hard work. I've sat in that chair. It is tremendously hard, and you are doing it with grace, and more importantly with passion. So well done, and I'm looking forward to where this takes us to that next step.
It's funny because when these stats came out earlier, I think it was either this week or last week, almost Gary and I messaged each other at the same time saying, can't wait to highlight this at our team meeting. So proud of the work that you're doing. Just looking at the names that we were just welcomed there. There's 11 names that we just welcomed to the brokerage. And Stevie, you've done a phenomenal job as our team leader in the role. You're crushing it. So proud to be in business with you. I think we mentioned it at the last team meeting. We're at the highest agent count the brokerage has ever been in history. We're just under 240, so we're at 238. So great job to our leadership team. Great job to our ALC. great job to Marianne, who onboards every single one of those agents. So we couldn't have done it without every one of us, talking about what a great organization we have, and us encouraging either new agents or seasoned agent to be a part of our culture. So shout out to you, Stevie, but also shout out to everyone who's a part of helping us grow the brokerage.
Yeah, thank you. So that is so. I had no idea. That is so cool. I'm so happy about that, and I'm truly so happy to be in business with Gary, Colin, and literally every single person at this brokerage. But truly a huge thank you to all of our leadership team, and in particular Steph and Marianne, for just, it's not easy onboarding that many agents, and it gets messy sometimes, but we always make it through, and it's awesome working with all you guys.
Awesome stuff. Yes, thank you, Stevie. We'll say goodbye to Stevie for now, and we'll continue on with our meeting. So thanks for everything, Stevie, and Colin. We've got some good stuff to get through. So we got about a half hour for your bit, my bit, and we'll get through this with some great stuff. So Andrew, Broker Bits, he sends his sincere apologies, and I have the videos. He sent us some videos. It's literally stuck in cyberspace. He is tremendously apologetic for that. We'll make sure that that message gets sent out. It's important to watch it, and because as the market shifts, so does the way we interact with our purchase and sale agreements and everything in between. So please watch Andrew's video, because that is tremendously important to the success of your clients for sure. However, you're not off the hook. We're still doing Broker Bits, and there's a couple of things that Colin and I need to share with you, because it's important to your business. And the first things first, everyone recognizes this screen. This is how you log into Command, and the MLS reporting, I know, has been a little, perhaps a gray area or a gray zone. And I sat down with Stephanie yesterday to understand what the issue was happening. And I know some of our agents have experienced, hey, I sent in the paperwork to have my listing sold conditional or firm or what have you, a change in the listing, and it wasn't happening. And that was because of a few things, but I'm going to walk you through 3 easy steps to make sure that your change in the MLS listing gets updated in an efficient way. And we all recognize this screen in Command. And here's the first thing that you need to do is click on that listed button, which brings up the listing information of the listing paperwork that you require. The next thing that you need to do, if you need to report a sold conditional or a firm or a change in the MLS, this is how you do it. You click on one of these 3 here that you see. That is your step 2. And then once that paperwork has been uploaded to Command, you just simply hit that submitted button. That's it. That's it. Very, very straightforward. So if you have a sold conditional that you need to be reported, this is how you do it on the listed side, which gets sent automatically to our front desk partners, and they monitor that almost, I was going to say hourly and minutely. Is that a term? Minutely? It is now.
It's being monitored.
Being actively monitored. That's it. And so your listings will be updated in an efficient way. That is how it happens. The next thing, Colin, we like this, right?
That's right. That's right.
I knew I'd get your attention. I looked high and low for Canadian dollars, and then I found Canadian dollar houses. So how about that? Here's what's happening with some of our paperwork. We have paperwork signed and it's been executed. However, our office is not receiving it. Now, you might say to yourself, yeah, I'll get to that. Well, here's where the gap happens, is we perhaps get on to a different task and it doesn't get sent in. And we actually have, and it's happened in the last couple of days, buying agents showing up with deposit checks, and our front desk staff doesn't have the APS or any information on the fact that listing has been sold. So that's imperative that gets in. We've also had, in some cases, homes close and our agent is expecting to get paid, yet the paperwork has not been sent in. It's very, very imperative and important that all paperwork, once it's been executed, which means once it's been signed by all parties, get sent into our office so it can be processed on the back end, which gets you paid, right? That's important. It's also, we can throw in some of the RICO requirements in there as well, but hey, let's focus on the thing that matters most, and that's getting paid. Paperwork needs to be sent in.
Well said, Gary. And like you rightfully said, there are also RICO requirements associated with that. But ultimately, we want to get our agent partner paid and paid on time. So the soonest you can get that information into our office, we truly appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it helps our entire office work in a nice, streamlined, efficient way as well. And I tell you what, when our office is happy, we're all happy. And that's what we strive for. Okay. The next thing, and I know we've talked about this in the past, and I can't stress this enough. FinTrack, use the FinTracker app versus web forms.
Yes.
And here's the thing. If you're using the app on your phone, it walks you through all the necessary steps before you can even submit the paperwork, which is awesome, because if you're only using the web form, you're actually missing one of the forms. It doesn't prompt you to provide the information for the I'm getting excited, for the politically exposed person and the head of the international organizations. Even if they're not, we have to say that they're not. And that's a requirement from FinTrack. So if you're just using the online forms, you have to download that second form. If you're using the FinTracker app, hey, high five to you, because it does it automatically. That's another reason why you need to be using the FinTracker app. It's free for everybody. Sign up using your email address if you don't have it. It'll ask you for a phone number. Use the New Market phone number. If you have a concern or an issue or you're confused on how to do that, Stephanie's going to love me, but reach out to Stephanie. She can make sure that happens, because a message was just sent again to Colin this morning. We are seeing more and more of the FinTracker paperwork not be filled out correctly, and that's because the forms were being used. Let's get away from that if we can, and use the FinTracker app. I can't say it any clearer than that. Happy face versus disgruntled face. How's that?
Beauty. And what I can also add to this is, obviously, being in the role of the broker of record currently, we're also seeing a lot of companies that are being fined by FinTrack. And it's very scary, because if an agent or one of our agent partners receive a fine like that, these are fines that can potentially end someone's career, because they're hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we're asking you to really be compliant with this. And Gary also mentioned that, FinTrack is free, but we also know that there's no such thing as a free lunch. The brokerage has already paid for every one of our agent partners to use this app. So please go ahead and use it so that we can be compliant and we don't ever have to worry we have any FinTrack concerns there.
Beautiful. Okay, moving on. Last thing of the broker bits. This is fun doing broker bits. You get to talk sternly. I like it. I have no idea what these glasses mean, other than that if you want to be cool and you want your paperwork signed, you need to send it via AuthentiSign or DocuSign if it requires a broker of record signature, like a cancel, relist, and so forth. Colin, what do you want to add to this?
All of that comes to me. All of the brokerage, the broker of record email comes to me currently. So all cancel, relist, mutual releases, please send them to this email and I'll get it. And I'm usually on it right away. For whatever reason I didn't, or I missed it in any way, please send me a text. But for everyone who's been sending it, I'm usually on it within, minutes.
Beautiful. So that's our broker bits. Please use the FinTracker app. Please get your paperwork sent in in a timely manner, so we could all, all work together to getting those homes closed for your clients and getting you paid, and everyone will be happy. How's that sound?
Well
Very
done,
good.
well done. And the video that Andrew Bolton, our alternate broker of record, has produced, we will be putting that on our Facebook page. We're also going to be sending that out via email, so because it's some real interesting tidbits that we want to bring to the brokerage.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's do some celebrations. All right, let's get away from that stuff and let's have some fun. Although incredibly important, welcome to our friends here for capping, Bella, Vincent, Kate, who we had on earlier, and Haley. Congratulations to you for capping and having tremendous businesses. This next piece here is really cool. First listings at KWRC to David, James, Sarah, Stuart, Vanessa, Zubar. First closings at KWRC, Devin and Mateus. Congratulations to you. And I say this every time. We need some music.
Well done, well done.
Top individuals for the month of April, closed units: Austin Clark, Wayne Clements, Bart Dersba, Paul Ireland, Dulcie Linton, John Brock, Stephanie Sauve, Kirby Chan, Megan Waller, and Tammy Andrakos. Congratulations. I told you we're going to see some new names up here. It's awesome.
That is just beautiful to see.
All right, moving on for written business for the month of April. Linda Donnelly, Crystal Stakas, Vincent Bongard, Kirby Chan, Jesse Lee Evans, Paul Ireland, Jackie Primerno, Pauline Rodriguez, Anushka Vila, and Marianne Carconi.
Beautiful.
And congratulations again to you guys. This is fun. I like the music. Closed units. This is for our top teams. Tied for fifth place, the Russo team and the Silbernagel team. Tied for fourth, the Campbell team and the Blaha Booten team. Of course, we see the Paroff team, Volpe Alcorn team, and the Terry Hastings team. Congratulations to you guys. Written business for our top groups in the month. I have February there. That's a typo. That should be April. We had the Stuart Madden team,
Tracy Kernstein,
and team Baxter Ryan Real Estate Group, Melissa Taylor team, and the Paroff team, and the Terry Hastings team. Congratulations to everyone there. We'll get that fixed up before it's sent out. Thank you. It's always fun to celebrate our top agents, and I love it. I love it. We're seeing some amazing stuff, and this is cool too. Our top agents in New Market closed units year to date, Colin, with the Volpe Alcorn team and number 5 in all of New Market. Stuart Coleman, a new friend of ours. Stuart Coleman, well done, my friend. It's number 16 in all of New Market.
Well done.
And Michelle Terzis at 20. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Colin, last month we had Ben Osterfeld on with us, and the feedback we got was fantastic. And Ben mentioned he was coming to Toronto on May 31st. He's hosting a one-day event, which we are all we're what's more than welcome. We need to be at. And here's a short video of what Ben's going to be talking about during that event.
Hey guys, we are only a few days away from the richest real estate agent workshop, the only workshop that will address mindset, emotional intelligence, and systems. If you think about it, most people come to me and go, I got to be more efficient with my time. If I could have more time or be more efficient, less procrastination, I would definitely hit the next level. That thinking is so limited, so limited. Procrastination is just doing stuff you don't want to do. No one wants to do stuff they don't want to do. Think how slow you are when you're doing stuff you don't want to do versus how fast and efficient and energized you are when you're doing the stuff you like. Business owners find team members to fill those holes. You pay them very low amount of money for reward of how much more money you can make doing what you love. It is time to shift your thinking. We are going to go after this. You don't need to find more time. You need to buy new time from other people. Cheers, guys.
I love it. And again, Ben's, if you want to circle back to last month's team meeting where he was on with us, the feedback was phenomenal. He talks about working on ourselves first and working at a higher rate and enjoying the real estate industry. This event is coming up on May 31st. Here's what you need to do. We are all invited to go, as I said. And here's what Colin's doing. He's paying for everyone. He's paying that $30 to upgrade your seats, which means you're going to get a signed brand new book that Ben's just launched, which is already at the top bestsellers list, and lunch the day of. So how do you sign up? You go to the URL that I have at the bottom. Instead of putting a long URL, I just used the short one there. Go there. It'll take you right to the site. Sign up using the free registration. You'll automatically get upgraded. Your ticket will automatically get upgraded. This is an event we all want to be at, Colin.
Absolutely. And we're doing this to help our agent partners so that they can be more profitable. They can live bigger lives, and just create a life by design. And that is the reason the brokerage is paying for this, so that we can help our agent partners.
Yeah. This is, as I've said many, many times over, Ben is definitely a mentor of mine, and I love the way that he looks at life and looks at business, and more importantly, looks how he affects those around him that matter the most, like his family. And do yourself a favor, go to this event and launch your career almost all over again. Yeah, this is fantastic. Good stuff.
Beautiful.
All right, Colin, let's talk about some market intel here.
Yep.
and go through our stats as we like to do. First stat, market share. This is on the entire Toronto Real Estate Board for sold versus asked. You can see we're kind of we are leading the pack there at 115.5%. Wow. This is year to date. And I was thinking about this. Year to date is going to take into the numbers that we were seeing in January and February. Yeah. And perhaps we should put out some documentation for the month of just the month of April, because I'm curious, not to say what we're doing, but more importantly, what the market's doing. So that's the information that's really important. Days on market, you can see we're right at 11. It looks like we're down at the bottom, but if you look at the top, it's 10.1. Yeah, like what is that? like
1 day difference.
Exactly. It's not that much of a difference at all. Next slide is agent productivity by unit. So we are the most productive agent in the industry on the Toronto Real Estate Board, which is really outstanding work. And we're seeing that in the market share that we're taking in different areas. So this is for our brand, all of Keller Williams on the entire Toronto Real Estate Board, these three slides that we've just shared. Okay, let's start off with new market. Sold versus ask at 112.48%. So as the year goes on, that number is going to continue to drop a little bit. That would be what I believe where the market's going. Two things: the market obviously is coming down, and listing agents are pricing accordingly, and of course, buyers aren't quite as aggressive as we know. Market share, you can see us at 12.36. And that market share is really starting to bounce around over this year as the market does shift, and we're seeing that change not only here but locally in new market as well. Days on market, we're sitting right at right in line with everyone else. Yeah. And I think this will get extended a little bit, Colin, as we start to as we talked about it, start to get offers that have conditions in it, right?
Yes. We're gonna.
The answer is yes.
We're gonna see those days get much longer coming in, and I think we should finish the year anywhere, especially in new market within around 14 to 18, if the market continues the way it's going right now.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair number on the market for that, for sure. Next, we're going to look at Georgina, and this is the sold versus ask in Georgina. It looks like we're at the bottom, but still we're at 113%.
And it's not enough for the top. Wow.
Yeah, which is nuts. And you can see 120% there. and again, it's how homes are being priced also has an effect of what that looks like as well. Moving forward, market share, we're sitting at 5%. So that these numbers, I got to tell you, as we looked over the last few months, they're really starting to bounce around a little bit up there. And as we continue in the Georgina area to attract other top agents, these numbers will affect, their numbers will affect your numbers up there as well.
Yep.
We're looking at days on market right at 10.19. So I don't know what the 19 is. Maybe that's that's like the 10th day plus breakfast. I don't know what that means, but that's where we're sitting right now. Now down to Aurora. There's your sold versus ask. Good for fourth place at 100, and we'll call it 112%. Still strong markets down in Aurora, as we can see there. Our market share is right where Marvin, if you remember 4 or 5 years ago, he said it would be, the founder of our company. This is where he said it would be if we continued to take market share and attracted other top agents in that area, Colin.
And what is it right now that we need? We just, at this point, we just need more agents in the Aurora office, and obviously that is what we're working towards. But we're looking to really crush the competition there with what we have in store.
Yeah, and we talked about this too over the past. You know, you think of a team like, like Terry Hastings' team in where she trades. She has a tremendous amount of market share. Or what that does for her business and the agents on her team. Well, we're the same here. What this does for you. For your business is market recognition. These are great stats, and this is what now we're going to be focusing on in the new market in Georgina areas, attracting that other top producers from other companies here, because when you have market share like this, it helps everyone's business erupt, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Days on market, we're sitting right at 10, which is awesome. And this is what I love. Our market, it's important to be in tune with what's going on in the market from a broker's perspective. And then the flip side is, what is the actual market data telling us and telling your clients on that, as we talked at the very beginning, the self-discovery mode of where their valuations are, and use the self-discovery mode. We always talk about it from the listing side. Use it for the buying side as well, because, hey, buyers are seeing the market drop, 10%, 15%, and they get excited because they want to wait for more and more and more. And they're like, well, I know they're asking $1 million, but I want to offer 800,000.
It's not happening.
No, it's not happening, Colin. Right? Use the self-discovery, because that'll save you a lot of time as well. Okay, Colin, we've talked about this so many times, and it's here. Why should people read Shift?
Shift is a book that every one of our agent partners, they should be reading it right now, studying it. We've seen on the roundtable panel, there are a lot of our top producers, they're just not reading it, they're studying it, right? And this just helps you how to just be ahead of the market. And we've experienced it. We've experienced many Shift before. A lot of our agents who are within the industry within less than 4 years, they've never experienced a Shift. This tells you how to prepare for that. So here's a free book. Please read it. We have hard copy book, physical books here in the office. You can come in and pick one up. I think the prices are there, what, $25 or something of that sort. But come in and pick one up, or you can read it via the digital copy.
Yeah, fantastic. So in closing, a great meeting today. Reach out to our panelists to say thank you for having, for sharing their insight and wisdom. Thanks to Jen for co-hosting with me at the beginning. And of course, thanks to Stevie for being the leader in recruiting other amazing like-minded people to our brokerage here, Colin. Sign up for this. This is something that Colin and I are really, really excited about. Please sign up to Ben's event, and don't forget to give back through our KWRC redday.ca, giving back to the community there. Colin, that wraps up our meeting. Any closing thoughts?
For Red Day, the goal is 5,000. So we're at 3,200 right now. any help, whether it's $1, $5, or Gary had said $10, it helps and it goes a long way, and it's going to a worthy cause. As agents, we are blessed to be in this industry, and because of that, we can be a blessing unto others. On behalf of myself and the leadership team, I thank each and every one of you, our agent partners or staff partners. Have a fantastic day. Bye now.
Bye for now.